Welcome aboard, Patriots Nation. This is the Patriots Clubhouse MayeFlower Voyage, your weekly chart through the 2025 season. The 9-2 New England Patriots steam into Cincinnati to face the 3-7 Bengals at Paycor Stadium Sunday at 1 o'clock. Drake Maye and Mike Vrabel have this team tied to the NFL's best record, while Cincinnati is just trying to keep the season afloat, with Joe Flacco starting again and Jamar Chase suspended because of Spitgate. We'll hit injuries, matchups, X factors, and of course, our score and stat predictions. I'm Austin, your captain tonight, joined by Andy and Tyler. Welcome, guests.
What's up, guys?
Boys, grab your life vests. We're cruising in. We're cruising into Cincinnati.
Yep. On to Cincinnati.
Before we really get started, let's make sure we smash that like button, hit subscribe. If you guys aren't a part of our Discord, top right corner, there's a QR code, and in the description, there's a link to our Discord. We're really trying to build that up and build this community of, not just football lovers, but, Patriots lovers and everything in between. Very welcoming. I guess to start it off, Andy, what's your big headline heading into this game?
My big headline heading into this game is, well, obviously the Pats are 9-2. Who saw that coming? And the Bengals without either their star wide receiver, Jamar Chase, suspended, as you said, because of, quote, Spitgate on Jalen Ramsey, and without him and Joe Burrow. I mean, you don't have that 1-2 punch out there. That's really the biggest news flash for me about this game is you're going to be playing Joe Flacco and T. Higgins. I mean, is that a pushover of a quarterback wide receiver duo? No. But Higgins is not the top 5 wide receiver in the NFL that Jamar Chase is by any stretch of the imagination. And being short both of those two guys, especially Chase, is not going to be good on Cincinnati's front at all. Even with our defense faltering against guys like Drake London.
Yeah, I find it a little funny that this is going to be the second week in a row where we're going against a team that wants to try and pull these behind-the-scenes antics with, we don't know who we're going to start at quarterback type of thing. Yeah. Ultimately, it does end up being who we all thought it was going to be. And you're right. I mean, them not having Joe Burrow is a huge hit. Joe Flacco, obviously a serviceable starter, but nothing like Joe Burrow is. And then obviously Jamar Chase, I mean, the spitting scandal that went on, I mean, I don't even know how somebody like that tries to appeal it. I mean, we're in 2025. There's tons of video footage. Like, you're not getting away from that one. You can say any which way that you didn't do it, but clear evidence that you did. And they're without Trey Hendrickson too, which is a big hit for that already doomed defense. How about you, Tyler? What's your big headline heading into this game?
Man, my big headline is the defense that we're going up against. Is this going to be a field day for Drake Maye? And I'm really crossing my fingers. We can not that it would even really be necessary, but it'd be awesome if he can exceed the 300 mark and just assert dominance, especially after a week of Drake unfortunately being on ESPN headlines. We don't have to discuss that, but hopefully he can prove a certain Scam Newton wrong and show exactly why he's in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I think the whole I know you don't really want to get into it, but we could spend a little bit of time
talking about it. It's news.
Yeah, I mean, what is with Cam Newton wanting to talk all this shit about Drake Maye? I mean, I get it. It's a TV show. These people have to have something to talk about. If people say Drake Maye is all sunshine and daisies, there's got to be the person that says Drake Maye is the bottom of the garbage barrel. Like, it just has to happen. That's how media works. And they're all over the clickbait and the getting you to, want to watch their videos. But, I mean, I would even argue Stephen A. Smith has been just as bad, if not worse, to some of the slander he's been saying about Drake Maye. And I believe it came out that Drake Maye ended up, I don't know, formally or unformally apologizing. And Stephen A. was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, I accept his apology, but I don't believe it. It's like, what are you so butthurt about? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they're butthurt because the Pats have a serious quarterback. That's what it boils down to. They're like a lot of these other national media guys who are like, instead of just like sucking it up and accepting that there's a decent chance, above decent chance the Pats are back, they just shit talk May. It's like, okay, get your head out of your butts, guys. I mean,
And the dude that does 98.5 at night, I'm not from Boston or whatever, but the guy that Joe Murray, he even was saying it's like they picked the two most humble guys in Jason Tatum and Drake May to be like scapegoats for nothing. Like they don't deserve any of the real hate that they're getting. They're just guys that are about ball, playing with their sport and trying to achieve that level.
And Murray was not on the May train until that Buffalo game. I mean, he was not. I was disappointed in him the beginning of this season. He was not buying Drake May at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, I think it's all them believing it now. And in terms of ESPN, man, it's just their job. And there's always each person on the ESPN screens plays a character. You're the devil's advocate. You're the guy that's negative Nancy. You're the guy that just is the face of the whole thing. So that's pretty much how it was for that whole first take. I'll be honest, dude. I haven't watched any of the ESPN morning shows in probably like 8 years. So I'm over the screaming, shouting stuff, and I would rather just my SportsCenter and ESPN just be let's actually talk about like the players and good things that are going on in sports, and that's what we all grew up watching ESPN for. I mean, it's the View for
it's become sports reality TV, which is just
right.
Really, I mean,
it's so disingenuous. So it's pointless.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh well, but let's get back to the game, guys. Let's focus in. I saw Eric had mentioned earlier, like let's not downplay the competition. And Eric, what is up, my dude? I just want to say I don't think we should. We're really going to be in a position to say we're downplaying anybody. This game is definitely on the favorable side for us. It's any given Sunday. Anybody can approach you and go for it. But we can't escape the fact that this defense has been absolutely dreadful, and it is like even being said that this is one of the worst statistical defenses of all time by DVOA.
Yep.
So
worst in the Super Bowl era and second worst, on track to be the worst over the last 60 years.
Right. So I mean, I think that's something we should at least just be looking forward to for our offensive sake. For the defense, who knows? I mean, Flacco is Flacco. He really does deserve his. He really does deserve his flowers for the career he's had. And I think he's going to definitely.
And Vrabel's never beaten him. Although, as they were saying on Boston radio last night, Vrabel's also never had a Drake May caliber quarterback.
That's very true. So
we'll see.
Just don't know, but that's all it is, guys.
Yeah, for sure. And before we get into the X and O's, let's mark this game in the logbook. Why do you think, Andy, a trip to Cincinnati matters for a 9-2 Patriots team cruising near the top of the AFC?
I think a trip to Cincinnati absolutely matters. And yeah, it's like we can say this, this is one of the worst defenses we've ever seen. And, they don't have Burrow or Chase. And well, yeah, that is the case. But, 10-2 in this AFC is going to look a lot better than 9-3. And, you've got the Colts and the Chiefs. The Colts are looking to go to 10-2 as well, surprisingly. I don't remember who the Broncos are drawing this week or if they're on a bye.
So the Colts were on a bye last week, so if they win, they become 9-2.
Okay,
and the
you're right.
Broncos are on a bye this week.
The Broncos are on a bye this week. That's what I thought. Thank you, Austin. So yeah, that 10-2 mark would once again put us as the first seed in the AFC. And, whether Cincinnati were operating with Burrow or not, I mean, that's just, another step. That is another step toward being the first seed in the conference, beating another AFC team, if we're able to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it's huge for number one seeding. I mean, if you look back months ago, we're sitting here being like, oh, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, we get 7 wins. Maybe we make
Right.
a push for the playoffs. Now we're looking at being the kings of the AFC, which is insane to think about. But
I know.
yeah,
Quite the turnaround.
I don't care about any of the schedule allegations. Like, you play who you play. I'm getting sick of talking about it. It's just,
Yep.
what do
It's
you want
not
to see?
college.
Yeah.
When you
It's not college where you like pay schools like, hey, we're playing you. We're going to play this Division III school. Hey, South Arizona's Technical University, we're playing you week 5 because we need a body.
yeah.
And it's nothing like that. It's just this is the schedule that we're given, and these are NFL teams. They're all in the NFL for a reason. It's not our fault that they're not coached well, they're developed well, or they've managed a team well to be against us. So
It's
you
like
face who you face.
you just look at the outset of the season when, the consensus was, look, this AFC is going to be a 3-horse race between the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bills. And the Pats will be, lucky to get either maybe sneak in through the rearest of back doors or get 7 wins. Here we are at 9-2.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, to build on it too, it's like the Patriots are, a top 5 defense. We're a top 5 or a top 10 offense. Like, we're really forming into this high-powered machine, and this is kind of the type of year where you can get a little lackadaisical. I mean, we are on an 8-game win streak, so it's one of those like, man, when's this thing gonna end? Like, you look at the schedule, you go, geez, the Bills just lost. I mean, like, are they really who they think they are? I mean, the Ravens are kind of scrapping, trying to even make the playoffs. Like, the rest of our schedule, I would say, isn't. It's more formidable for us. Like, it's great because we benefit from it, but it's one of those, like, we're in the middle like stretch of an AFC North matchup. We've already played the Browns, we've already played the Steelers, we obviously have the Ravens later, and now the Bengals. It's like I don't want to call it a trap game because obviously, like, every game feels like a trap game now.
Yeah.
Every game feels like a trap game, but
right. It was okay. Was it Panthers? Was it Browns? Now, was it the Jets even? Could it be the Bengals? Yeah, it's like, okay,
It's
any
the
given
weekly.
Sunday. Yep.
I was gonna say it's just like a weekly ongoing saga of like this is the weekly. It's gonna be a trap. Like every single week is just somehow, some way it's a trap for us. It's just a matter of us coaching well and executing everything well. Real quick, Chris Herrera had a question for us, and then we can pretty much resume back in. How does Vrabel handle Stevenson coming back? Will he still give Henderson his touches, or does he reel it back a little bit? Henderson has earned more opportunities. I'll quickly just start. I agree. I've been saying since we drafted Henderson, hopefully the goal would be we just copy and paste exactly what Detroit does. It's Sonic and Knuckles, it's Gibbs, and it's Montgomery. I call them, to myself and whoever would listen, the New England Suns, because it's Stevenson and Henderson. So I think just roll with the two. Stevenson's going to be more your power back as well, and Henderson's just your shoot out of the cannon style running back. That's how I'd operate it.
Yeah, I think at least with this year, I don't think you can fully go away from Stevenson. Now that he's back, I think it's more of a warm welcome. Obviously, the fumble thing is a concern. It's always going to be a concern with him because of his history, but I don't think we're going into this being like, oh, we should completely sit a healthy Stevenson and just only play Henderson. It's like, no, like, we need that other back. Going next year, I mean, I find it hard to see Stevenson on this roster. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like his time has kind of come to an end. And
especially getting older at running back too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it would have been crazy if we could have drafted like Judkins and Henderson. That would have been a real fun 1-2 punch. Obviously, it doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things, but
no, you're good.
It's like we just really we need that like freight train type of running back to coexist with our flashy type of running back. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I mean, I obviously would like to see Henderson. I don't want him completely, essentially, basically sidelined the way he was before Was it the Tampa game, I think, is when he officially went off, if I'm not mistaken, or was it the game before that? I'm not even remembering when Stevenson was no. Did Henderson go off against Atlanta? Help me out here.
He went off against the Bucks and then doubled down against the Jets.
So it was the Bucks. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to see, kind of a, like you said, Tyler, a 1-2 punch like they have in Detroit. You use Stevenson as the power back that he is, and you use Henderson as the pass catching back. If you need that big play on 3rd and long, call an out route to Stevenson, have him run down the sideline for a big gain.
Right.
Yeah. For you, Tyler, as far as the Bengals go, because it's easy to talk about the Patriots, but let's take a second and stop with the Bengals. Mm-hmm. They're kind of in a desperation mode. What do you think is their motivation or inspiration to even, show up this Sunday and try to give the Patriots a quote unquote run for their money?
So with Burrow coming back, or not, obviously not this week because they have ruled him out as of this morning. Burrow is a competitor. He wants to compete. He's going to be playing this season regardless of if they're winning or losing, no matter what. The crazy thing is the AFC North, they still have a chance. I mean, they're only, I believe, 2-3 games back. And, I mean, the Steelers have a quarterback with a broken hand. We have a Ravens suspect defense that's slowly starting to improve. That also seems to shoot themselves in the foot as a team as well. So realistically, there is a slight possibility that the Bengals can, if they basically beat us, they win out next. If they just keep going, keep stacking wins, there is a possibility to do so. You're not ruled out until week 18's up until a close. I mean, you're ruled out of the playoffs, of course, but you don't want to count yourself out as a team until the season's at a close. These guys all want to build up their own stock if they're hitting free agency. But another thing as well too, I mean, look, let's face it, there's a lot of players that just aren't happy being on this Bengals roster. We're well aware of the Hendrickson contract issues. We're well aware of Shamar Stewart's issues. It's just something has to change within this organization, and ownership doesn't pay players properly. They dispute players with their contracts, and now they've managed to put themselves in cap hell, or at least in the proceedings to put themselves there. So there's a lot of things internally they need to figure out in terms of what they can do on the field this week. It's just, do they want to have that shot to make it to the playoffs? That's just what they got to give us.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious if they're just kind of in a tank now mode where they're like, we'll probably lose this week. If we're playing the Ravens, do we rush bringing Burrow back because they go quick from Sunday night to Thursday night. So,
yeah, and I real quick with that point, I just want to say I felt like the moment I heard that he was a full participant, my mind was thinking about Thanksgiving week because I knew that they were playing Thursday. I was like, when this game wraps up on Sunday, they only have one essential practice, which isn't even really a full go of a practice. So they're kind of pigeonholing themselves to, hey, we won him by Thanksgiving. You can't really give him one singular practice to be ready for a Thursday game. He needed this week to get himself ready for next week. So,
yeah, definitely. For you, Andy, if the Pats were to stumble here and, do end up taking a loss, or, maybe they go out there and they just destroy them, what do you think the headline is Monday? One for if they get rolled over by the Bengals and one if they, take care of business.
Okay, all right, here we go. You got me thinking here, Austin. I think if they go out, if they lose, granted it is on the road, but if they lose to a depleted Bengals team, they're really, I don't know. You can't even really say there's there's talk that it's the schedule. It's just like, okay, the headline could easily be, vaunted Pats lose to a down and out Bengals team that, doesn't look like they want to play for their coaching staff. Like I just said, Chase Brown's not a bad running back. They do have some guys on that offensive side of the ball. They still have T. Higgins. They have Chase Brown. They have Andre Josivas. But, the headline could be, I don't think we'll get blown out, but if we stumble, it's like, okay, Pats hit a roadblock, where do they go from here? That sort of thing. Whereas if we do go out there and take care of business, and Drake May does, God willing, break 300 yards, there's, especially the local Boston news will be crowing about, rah, Drake has his first 300-yard game and, has another feather in his cap, with all those records he set earlier in the season. So it could either be, pretty much doom and gloom, or, this is, if we go out there and blow them out, that could be, we're only 6.5 point favorites, I think. So if we go out there and blow them out, then that could be with Drake throwing for 300 plus yards, that, could really be a headline come Monday.
Yeah, to me, I think it's going to have real national, headline. They're going to try to push a narrative, and it would be incredibly harmful if we lost, because then they're just going to be like, Patriots aren't the big dogs. Patriots are pretenders. They don't have what it takes to win the AFC.
That'll be coming if we lose.
And if we win, it's just going to be, it probably will have something to do with schedule. But, maybe it's more positive, where it's like May stays in the MVP race, or Vrabel's team continues to handle business even when it's a gimme type of win. So, I think from a national media standpoint, this is a huge game, but in all schemes of things, it's really a game that we should just go in there and win handedly and take care of business. But you never know. Any given Sunday.
Absolutely.
Let's not let up an opening drive touchdown again.
What do you mean? All the fans are convinced that we do it on purpose, so that way we can learn their scheme and stop them.
We know exactly what they're doing. We cracked the case.
That's kind of a Vrabel-esque plan.
They're going to do this every single drive. We've got to figure it out.
We want to like break the morale by like letting the opponents score on every opening drive and then answer with our own and then fly away.
It's kind of like a boxer who just likes getting punched in the face right before he goes out into a fight. Like, just hit me. It's like, now you're psyched and you're ready for it. So
Yep.
100%.
But yeah, no. So now we're going to head over to the broadsides. We're going to discuss a little bit about the Patriots offense versus the Bengals defense. Obviously, the Patriots offense just shy of 4,000 yards total, 35 offensive touchdowns, roughly 357 yards total a game. It's a decent balance. I would hope for more rushing yards. We only have about 1,240 rushing yards. Obviously, we've struggled on the ground, but Henderson has looked to be, a light in that dark tunnel of the running back room with that Gibson injury a few weeks back. We're playing like a top 10 offense by EPA standards. We've been really leaning on May and Stephon Diggs in the passing game. I think we all speculated Stephon Diggs would be one of our top pass catchers coming into this year. I don't think anybody saw it panning out exactly how it did, where he stepped up in the Buffalo game. He's stepped up in multiple games now, and now he's securing touchdowns. He's got a good chance to become our first 1,000-yard receiver since I think Edelman in 2019, which is just crazy to think about how terrible our receivers have been, or maybe it's the development of those receivers. But that's kind of the Patriots' offense right now. For you, Tyler, with New England only having 1,200 rushing yards on the season, just a little bit above that, and the Bengals are soft up front. I think I saw a statistic where it was like Shamar Stewart has 2 total tackles.
Yes.
Like
that's
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
2? Only 2?
Yes, two on the entire season.
Brother.
Do you think like
He was a
Ramondre
vaunted pick.
coming back and Henderson are just going to have a heyday with this defensive front?
Well, I want to quickly shout out. We have a Bengals fan here on the chat. No kiss, no bang bang. Welcome in, my friend. I hope you. He says here he's going to be at the game. Hope you have a great time at the game. Be safe. Enjoy yourself. Hopefully, you'll be enjoying yourself in a way that the Patriots are dominating you, but you still had a great time. You met some cool people there. Anywho, no, I think in general, he also brings up a great point here about you using our running backs and using our tight ends will beat them easy. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's great aspects of what we can do to succeed in this game. Having the 1-2 punch of Stevenson coming back in. Stevenson can even be eased in as well. Yeah, the dynamic aspect of using those guys would definitely help out. We can attack through the air. We can attack through the run. Can you briefly just like reread your question to me again?
Yeah, so it was basically New England has 1,200 rushing yards total, so that's like within Drake May, within Henderson, within Stevenson. And it was just like because the Bengals are so soft up front, do you think Ramondre and Trevion are going to have a heyday and they're just going to be able to – like we're going to be able to scheme run heavy and just not have to rely on Drake May's arm to kind of win this game?
I think yes and no. I think, honestly, this game just might be let's just go for it. Like just we needed a game where we can – just like the Panthers where it was just all gas the whole game. And I'm hoping we can just bring that energy – especially with having Booty back, especially with, Stevenson getting now in the mix. Like we're kind of filling in back our offense that we had lost the last 2 weeks. So hopefully we can pick up this momentum and utilize this as a chance that we can try different things we haven't done throughout the scheme thus far, mix it in as well, and be like, I don't want to say it's like a practice thing or anything of that sort, but just an opportunity for Drake to just go out, do what he needs to do, get our running backs going, and let's just let loose and just give them what they give us. And if what they give us is easy access to the end zone, let's just take advantage of it while we can.
For sure. I think having Stevenson back brings a level of physicality that we were severely missing. I mean, I will say Henderson is a hell of a running back, and he does not shy away from contact. I can give him that, but Ramondre is far and above our physical, bell cow in a sense running back that we've been missing, because when you see Henderson doing some of these up the middle runs, I mean, it's quite frankly just getting stuffed or stopped really close to the line of scrimmage. We've been missing Stevenson being able to just whittle in between the guards and, break off a little bit of a run. So I think it'd be nice having the yin and yang back in the building. For you, Andy, from the eye test, what's impressed you most about the Pats' run game the last few weeks? Is it, the individual backfield play of Henderson? Is it more the schemes we've been driving up, or is it most of the credit going towards that offensive line of ours?
Yeah, that's a good question, Austin. I mean, I think the offensive line, especially the left side, has been blocking really well these past couple of weeks. I mean, you're hearing a lot about Will Campbell and Jared Wilson just, seeing off, guys like Will McDonald and Vita Vea, and just letting Trevion Henderson, have these big games, not necessarily in the run game, but in the pass game. Well, in the run game, definitely against Tampa, he broke runs for I was 45 and 65, something like that. So yeah, I'm giving a lot of credit to the offensive line, and I think the first touchdown against the Jets was actually scored by Henderson as well on a key block from Will Campbell. So yeah, for me, it is, the dynamic backfield pass catching ability of Trevion Henderson, but it's also been, I'm not going to call it a coming to the NFL moment for these rookie offensive linemen. They've just stepped up to the plate and done really well these past few weeks.
Definitely have.
Yeah, I think Will Campbell is a welcome sight to this team. Obviously, having to go through
100%.
Vidarian Low last year and whatever carousel of linemen that we went through, and I think Jared Wilson has been quite the surprise too. He was the one kind of anchoring that push into the end zone against the Jets, it looked like, and he was the one, first to get up and kind of celebrate, like, when he, helped push the pile. Like, that's just a great play by our offensive line. Like, you love to see that physicality and, pretty much never giving up till the whistle blows. And
Definitely.
we didn't have that last year.
Yeah, we had one of the worst offensive lines. We played like 11 different sets of offensive linemen. Some of the worst Pats had some of the worst offensive line play in NFL history last year. I mean, and that is what not only drafting Campbell and Wilson, but bringing in Vrabel and bringing in Doug Marrone and bringing in Josh McDaniels did to that. Arguably the most important position in football on the offensive side outside of quarterback.
Yeah.
You really need the left tackle. And I'll admit, Tyler, as you know, I was firmly in the Campbell is a guard camp.
And for those who don't know, I was like the dude that saw Will Campbell blocking for Jaden Daniels and said I wanted that guy on my team.
Oh, and Daniels just glows about Will Campbell every chance he gets.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like okay, there you go.
Yeah. Real quick, just to kind of piggyback off of your take there, Andy. I think a good thing with us as well, knock on wood, but the continuity we've had within the offensive line has been the same, except for one game where we had Ben Brown step in for Jared Wilson. Other than that, it's been the same 5 guys rolling through, which is honestly rare. I mean, we see how everything's been trending throughout the entire NFL, especially through the trenches. It's hard to keep a whole healthy line of guys. But so far, obviously there's probably bang-ups here and there, but these guys are fighting through it, playing through it, and trying to keep our quarterback safe. So more credit to the guys that we got, and super happy we have them.
Yeah, I asked in the chat, didn't we the private chat, didn't we have a sub at center one week too, or was it just left tackle, left guard?
No, I think it was just left guard. Bradbury's play. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I thought Bradbury has played every game this year.
Interesting.
Yeah, Wilson missed with I can't remember if it was like an arm issue or something of that sort. But he was back the following week. He came through.
That I remember. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to pose this question too, where it's like, for you, Tyler, do you think this O-line would be anywhere as good as it is if we didn't have Vrabel? Because at least to me, it feels like you could have all these players, but if we had Mayo, I feel like this line wouldn't be anywhere what it is right now.
I will say this. The guy that we previously had as our offensive line coach, I know he got a really bad rep based off of how the season went for us last year. But to be completely fair, he didn't have the best set to completely work with. But Scott Peters, he has a unique way of coaching the offensive line, especially younger guys, and introduces like this kind of like a UFC style approach of a strike system. Of like you hit exactly at this point of the shoulder for this type of play, and then there's a possibility to take him out. He had a unique approach of how he did everything. How that would have translated, say, with Will Campbell and Wilson, it's tough to really say. But the coaching staff we have has just been absolutely outstanding across the board on the defensive side. I mean, obviously there's still a couple things here and there to clean up, but for Kerr right now of filling in for Williams, he's done a great job. Marrone has done a great job with this line. Even wide receivers coach, I'm blanking real quick. Downing.
Yeah.
Downing. Yeah, even Downing for him switching through, coaching in a position he's never coached before. All around, like this staff has impressed us, and it's an all-star staff that Vrabel's assembled. So yeah, I would absolutely say with what we have. Like I can't say for sure what we had last year would have done better with what like the offensive line we had this previous year would have succeeded in this. I think it's a collective effort of the players that we obtained this year, as well as the coaching, as well as what the buy-in of what Vrabel's selling to these guys.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, a big part of it is your coaching staff and, kind of who you have on board with that. And obviously Vrabel, clean slate with all of the members of the coaching staff, pretty much except for, ironically, Mayo's brother, right? He's like the strength and conditioning coach, which I find really funny, but I guess he's been doing a pretty good job at that. And, yeah, it's just a culmination of all these people coming together, and Vrabel's kind of the glue of it all, and he's making everything work. So I'm loving everyone buying in. Right. For you, Andy, we're kind of going to move to kind of like talking about the passing game. So obviously Booty's been out the past couple of weeks, but Stephon Diggs has stepped up. But he has, been playing through some stuff. Apparently he claimed that he broke his finger, I guess. And May was like, oh, he loves to exaggerate. But he was listed with a non-injury personal designation at one point this season as well. So obviously he's dealt with the injuries. He's coming off the ACL, but he's been a real tone setter for this team. What does Stephon Diggs change about the dynamic of not only this team, but the offense as a whole?
Stephon Diggs, I mean, even at 31, I mean, this guy is giving the Pats wide receiving core an identity it hasn't had since Julian Edelman was on the field. I mean, he brings a fiery personality. He revs everybody up, not just wide receivers, like the whole entire team. You saw him doing it in Buffalo. And he's still got ball skills. He's still got deep ball skills that you saw when he was in Minnesota and Buffalo. Not to the degree that he was there, but he's still, everybody else say, oh, Pats pick up another washed wide receiver. Whenever Stephon Diggs is out on that field, I mean, Drake May has him as, I'm going to say, beyond a security blanket. He has a wide receiver one in Steph Diggs. And, he's, given this offense, I mean, I love how Booty and Hollins have looked so far this season, but Diggs has given that offense, the pass catching offense, just an entire new look than we've had in the past 5 years. And Pop Douglas, too. Pop Douglas has upped his game in the past few weeks. But Steph Diggs, a doff of the cap to him.
Yeah, I would argue that his off-the-field demeanor has been more impactful to this team than what he's been able to do on the field.
His I mean, calling, player meetings and, just buying in. Like, that's what Vrabel does. He makes players buy in. And you're, in a way few coaches can. And you're correct, Austin. You are seeing that off the field with Steph Diggs. A far cry from that Hawaii crap from the summer.
Yeah, I think Diggs as well has made every New England Patriots fan also a fan of Cardi B.
Oh yeah, she's our Taylor Swift, dude.
She's
not me yet. But
that WAP song, Chef's Kiss.
Yeah, for real.
What a ultimate classic. I would have never known if Stephon Diggs had not introduced her into my life. Pure cinema. But anywho, I wanted to piggyback the aspect of Diggs, his leadership. I think with Downing first time ever being a wide receivers coach, him and Hollins both are kind of in a way the co-wide receiver coaches. I'd like to think for our younger guys in Booty, as well as Williams, as well as Pop and everybody that we've got. I think like their input, everything that they're doing between Hollins and Diggs has been absolutely impactful. So anything that Downing wants to get across, I think Diggs and Hollins are like the message men, like the middle guys guiding these guys into what's expected of them on the field.
Definitely. I think Mac Hollins has been really beneficial as well. I think I was either watching something or reading something, and it was basically like, it was a comment somebody had made because Stephon Diggs got really hit on one of the plays, I think, recently, either this last game or the game before that. And Matt Collins went right over and, picked him up and said, get back up and get off the field and we'll make sure you're all right type of thing. But I'm one to believe that if he didn't do that, like maybe there's a chance Stephon Diggs, sits there and kind of grabs his wrist or, just stays on the ground. I don't know. It sounds corny, but I think Matt Collins is really that like, yeah. You're all right. Get up. Come on. We got a game to win. Like, get back.
Put some dirt on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the dude doesn't wear shoes. Like, I bet if he didn't have to wear cleats, I bet he would be out there barefoot. So
yeah. Shoeless Joe. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
With no Hendrickson tonight, Tyler, since he still has some big frames in Murphy, Osai, I think is how you pronounce it. Even Shamar Stewart, granted, only 2 tackles, but they've been able to come up with some creative pressures this season. Is there any concern about this O-line against this Bengals front, even in a loud road environment like Cincinnati?
Well, let me briefly just pull up like their pressure rate while we're going through that. I think for our line's sake, they've just been proven that they've been improving each week, especially in the passing. I mean, yes, we've ran in a couple instances, obviously with the Myles Garrett game, as well as just little hiccups here and there, especially against stunts and so forth. It's still a learning aspect, but one moment here. So the Cincinnati Bengals have a pressure rate of 28.5%, which ranks them 4th worst in the league. So adding on to our statement earlier about them being one of the worst defensive teams of all time, according to DVOA, everything since the Super Bowl era, this is not a very active defensive front in terms of pressure. I mean, maybe let me check real quick run rates as well. My apologies, audience. I meant to have this pulled up earlier. Come on. There we go. 100 rushing yards per game. They are dead last. So dead last against the run, basically allowing 160 rushing yards a game. Yeah. I would say for the aspect of this defensive front, I'm sure there are good players here, rather if it's not coached the best, or if it's just a matter of really the talent itself. They're not really meeting any form of good expectations there.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned with the Bengals defense. I mean, like you said, it's obviously, I'm sure, good players. I mean, anybody to make it into the NFL has to be, that caliber of a player. But I think our offensive line is going to handle that defensive front handedly.
Yeah, I'm looking
without Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and it says the Cincy defense is ranking at or near the bottom of several NFL statistical categories, including points allowed per drive and yards allowed per play.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I believe
30th in points allowed per drive, dead last in yards allowed per play.
They're 31st
ranked in third down, second to last in third down stop rate at 48.5.
I briefly watched a little bit of the highlights of them for the last few weeks, and just there's a lot of arguments between the secondary. So when a big play happens, hey, you should have who was supposed to have this guy? Who they're looking back and forth at each other. This isn't just one game. It's not even multiple play. It's multiple plays in a game that this is happening, that they're not structured. They don't have any general
pages. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no general like you've got so and so. This is what we expect. I don't know. If honestly, even if it's like the defensive coordinator is possibly in over his head. I believe he came from Notre Dame. He's the current defensive coordinator now for the Bengals, and I just don't know if he's just not up to the NFL, standards of like this isn't college. It's not always an easy transition from college coaches to the NFL. It could be numerous things of that sort, but no, I think in general, man, it's this just is not looking good. And it doesn't help that like they're missing leaders like Hendrickson, the guys that they just got rid of in trades as well. It's not really a good sign for them.
Definitely.
But more benefit for us, hopefully.
I hope so. Before we move on to the next segment, I just want to take a moment to say, please make sure you like, subscribe, join the Discord, top right QR code, link in the description. Please comment, Q with a question or S with a statement in the chat. Please be, as active as you want. We're really looking forward to comments, any questions, really anything. We're here to answer any football related questions, and just please keep it respectful. Before we do move on to the next section too, I did start a comment from Eric. It said, do you guys want to see the Chiefs win against the Colts to help us get a higher seed, or would you rather the Chiefs lose to make sure they don't make the playoffs?
I'd rather the Chiefs not be in the playoffs.
Correct. Yeah. This was I was listening to Zolak and Bertrand yesterday, and Tim McCone was thinking, give me the Colts over Chiefs over give me the Colts over the Chiefs. And Zoe and Beetle were like, are you crazy? We want to see the Chiefs win. Like, I might not mind facing them in the playoffs. And I'm like, bro, it's Pat Mahomes. Do we want to see him in the playoffs? No.
Right.
Do we want to am I convinced, at least half that the Colts are fool's gold? Yes. But at the same time, it would be nice to see them beat the Chiefs. It's like, yeah. I because I think there's a chance we dispatch Indy in the playoffs if we have to play them. Playing at Denver, that's a discussion for another day. But I am 100% in on the Colts winning. I do not want to see Pat Mahomes in the AFC playoffs again. I just don't.
Well, I agree exactly with that, Andy. And I think there's probably going to be some aspect of that people would say, like, being afraid of the Chiefs. For me personally, it's not even being afraid of them. I hope I'm not speaking for everyone here, but I'd like to think a lot of people are just over the whole Chiefs thing. Like,
it's like people felt like us about us during our dynasty. The Pats again? Come on.
But for me, especially the last 2 years of the Chiefs play has not been exciting football at all. You get we're watching games won by down to the fourth quarter. Here's a 13-15 game. It's just a lot of God, this is just dragging the frick on. And it's not the Mahomes that was is this the Michael Jordan of quarterback? Because he was doing some off the wall things, and he's just not doing that anymore. It's just we'll get a cool little play from him once or twice a season now, but it's just not the guy that we were pretty hyped about. And if you have him in fantasy, you definitely hate Patrick Mahomes' guts too. I'm just ready for us for when we were successful back in the day. We at least were keeping it exciting. All of our games were dominant, or it was every game we had was at least over 28 points, or 24 to 28 points a game was what we were pretty much averaging back in the reign of terror of the Patriots.
You see, and that's the thing about watching Denver and Indy. At least, those games really do. Some of them have made for exciting football. The Chiefs, I mean, yeah, Pat Mahomes, ugh. But yeah, they just all those one-score games. It's the headline last year should have been, Kansas City wins whatever it was, 11 one-score games, and people were still picking them to win the Super Bowl. It's don't you see what a fall off this team took? They really shouldn't have beaten Buffalo. That was on a fluke ref call. I digress. But hey, Yeah, I do kind of agree with that Chiefs fatigue thing.
Yeah,
It's not wrong.
I think that's where most people are at with them at this point, and it's not even the aspect of I mean it's the shoe that fits because we used to be that team, but I also like to think like our team was more exciting to hate
Yeah.
than what it was with the Chiefs, where we just hate them just because we're over the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing, we're over Patrick Mahomes and his ignorant family. Like we're just done with it personally.
Now it's like,
Um,
oh, geez, the Colts have, Jonathan Taylor. He's a running back, but he's in the MVP conversation. Or,
yeah,
Denver as this, really, really stout defense. It's like, they have like a part of their game that's actually fun. Like we have Drake May.
yeah.
What do the Chiefs have now? Old borderline washed up Kelce and
Receivers that can't stay out of trouble.
Right, Pat
You
Mahomes
know,
half losing his game. There's something going down there, and it's not
right.
good.
Yeah.
Taking a look too at like the Colts remaining schedule versus the Chiefs remaining schedule. I mean, they both kind of have a lot of tough games coming up because obviously Chiefs and Colts tomorrow, and then the Chiefs would have to play the Cowboys, which I would say is an arguably tough game. I don't think the Cowboys are
I agree.
a top team, but they're going to be tough. They play the Texans after that, which we just saw what happened to the Bills, and I would argue
Colts
that
have the Texans twice, I think. Still,
no, the Colts definitely have the Texans twice. I'm talking about the Chiefs schedule real quick though, because if we are as scared as of the Chiefs or whatever, it's like it's like we just don't want to have to deal with seeing them in the playoffs because I mean they still have Mahomes as like an MVP runner, which is just insane to me at 5-5. Like you would never see Brady even in that conversation at 5-5. So
people are still giving the Chiefs better chance than us to make it to like win the Super Bowl. It's like, oh, it's Pat Mahomes. Like, no, get over your gayness for him, please.
Right.
I guess my only argument is maybe I would like to see the Chiefs beat the Colts tomorrow because I just feel like they could lose 4 more games to the Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Broncos again. But the Chiefs do have 2 gimme wins, I feel, in the Titans and Raiders. Where the Colts do have a tougher schedule to end the year.
I just really want to see Daniel Jones crumble again. That would be. It's like
it's time for him to turn into a pumpkin.
I'll even flip the switch, kind of counterpointing what I said. Go ahead and let the Chiefs get in. Let them get to play us, and then just like when it was the Brady passing the torch to Mahomes game, let's go ahead and let Mahomes pass the torch to Drake again. And now we're back to let that challenge go through. Just
let them
random thought.
Think they're gonna win, and then down you go.
Yeah. I am kind of part of that boat because I do understand the aspect of like, oh, I don't want to play those guys. Anything could happen, but I also am under the standpoint of like, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and until they're out of playoff contention, like those are your Super Bowl favorites, so to say. So it's like. Might as well take him out, but I don't know.
Austin, you're sounding like Cam Newton right now, and I don't like it.
No, I'm not. Get out of here.
No, give it to Austin. He's not sounding like Cam Newton.
No. Because Cam Newton had said in making points about Drake May and about the Patriots being fool's gold was that you got to beat the best. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And then his co-partner Woody had said. Well, they beat the Bills. He's like, well, you got to beat the best twice. Like, that's. I'm just messing around.
No, 100%, 100%. I mean, that conversation would probably be easier if the Chiefs were actually winning and we're being a wild card coming into here, and then it's like, yeah, bring them on, we'll take them on. But
at the same point, the Broncos are now pretty vaunted. Now, wouldn't you like it if it were kind of a passing of the torch back to New England if we were to somehow go into Mile High and beat them?
Yeah.
AFC playoff race is going to be interesting.
Yeah, at the very least, I just want home field advantage. I mean, I guess for the first game at least. First 2 would be great. The first round bye would be obviously best case scenario, but I would also argue would the bye like hurt us, you think, if we were to secure it, just because this team does strike me as a team that just plays well and compounds that sort of thing. So having the week off maybe makes them lackadaisical, or maybe Vrabel would, keep them ready to go.
For me, I think if we can beat the say we win this game and then we go into the Giants, if we're able to pull off the win there as well, I think that's just great momentum for us, like to go on the win streak that nobody would have seen coming from us. That's already a great thing to feel confident about coming out of the bye. But ultimately, we know how hard these guys are working. They're busting their tails each week to keep getting better and better and just prove everyone wrong. I don't see them coming out of the bye week after having possibly these next 2 wins in a row. Just to say, we did what we needed to do. And I think they're going to say we want more and keep trying to build off of that. Keep fighting.
For sure. So now we're going to move on to the hull integrity. So we're going to be talking about the Patriots defense versus the Bengals offense. So the Patriots defense obviously is allowing 18.7 points per game, which ranks 5th in the NFL. Their strengths are deep front with Barmore, Tonga, Farmer, Durden. Would have been Williams if not for the unfortunate, sentence to IR. Then we got Landry, Chason, Jennings. It did seem like Landry was dealing with something. You can kind of tell, too, against the Jets when he perfectly read the read option by Justin Fields. Just Justin Fields outran him, and it kind of looked like Landry was dragging a little right there. And we have a really young fast secondary with Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones, Craig Woodson, and Carlton Davis. The Bengals offense, they've put up just over 3,000 yards total. So in comparison, we've put up over 4. They're barely over 3,000 yards of offense. They're allowing 22.8 points per game, which is really below league average, way bottom of the barrel. Flacco in 5 starts has actually been surprisingly well. 1,453 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions with a 63% completion percentage. But the team has gone 1-4 in those games. To me, it's very interesting because it's almost similar to Burrow, where Joe Flacco isn't necessarily, going out there and like winning these games. It's more like the defense is just letting him down. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like Flacco's able to, put up some touchdowns, but this defense is historically bad.
And this happened to an extent with the Bengals last year too, and they only missed the playoffs by 1 game. Here was Burrow throwing to parts unknown, and the defense had just let him down at the end of every game.
Yeah, I think the Bengals are definitely beating themselves up over not beating the Packs week 1, especially with how.
Right. I even heard that on the radio. It's like, oh crap, we beat the Pats. There's playoffs.
Yeah. Definitely. Obviously, Jamar Chase is out this game with a suspension, but he was on pace to be over probably 1,000 yards. He's got 5 touchdowns and 79 catches on the season. Because he's out, primary weapons will be T. Higgins, Andre Losivas, Jermaine Burton, Noah Fant, and Drew Sample at tight end, and then obviously Chase Brown at running back. For you, Tyler, with Jamar Chase suspended, how aggressive can Vrabel be with the coverage and Kerr, I guess more specifically for that defensive coordinator, stand-in? Is this, going to be a more focus on Higgins, try to make them run? Obviously, we've tried to stop the run more often than not, but what do you think is the game plan for this?
They're going to hawk Tua on him. They're going to just flat out sorry, dumb joke. All right, but they're going to pretty much just come into this playing kind of like, I hope they play more aggressive. We don't have Milton Williams, so we're missing him there. So I think we're going to have a different approach to our defensive front. We brought in Swinson. We just called up Farms from the practice squad, as well as who we brought in. Yes, and Swinson as well. So having
Dupree, I think.
Who was it?
CJ Dupree. Obviously, that's offense.
Yes, yeah, that's on offense. But yeah, no. And Christian Ellis being back as well. from his injury. I think all in all, man, I think they're gonna just try to. I would personally would like them to just have an aggressive attack from the gate. Just have a complete you guys have you guys think you've seen what we've been doing. Let's just go like kind of what we attempted to do. What game was it where Kyle Duggar gave up that big play right at the gate when they were trying to do a cornerback blitz? I can't remember.
Saints game.
The Saints game, yes. So I kind of hope we can just attempt to go that direction without blowing up a big play on the first play of the game. I actually hope we just try to let's mimic that again and in a more favorable matchup than what we've been dealing with the last few weeks. So we can try to have this as like, I guess, I'm not trying to downplay the Bengals here. I don't want to keep like making it seem this way, but I feel like this is a good shot for us if we want to like display a aggressive defense like they've been praising all off season into the season. This is a good shot for us to let that be utilized this week. So I'm hoping we can have our corners. I know it's not going to be what everybody wants to hear. I think having Gonzalez on Yoshivas, keep Carlton Davis on Higgins, and then have Hawkins be above where Higgins is at. Then have Ellis work off of Gesicki, who I believe Gesicki is back this week. Did they were confirmed he was back today?
Yes.
So I would have him off of Gesicki, have pretty much Woodson just follow along whoever, and then Marcus Jones. Who would they? Who's going to be the third receiver? Is that Burton, I guess, or is that?
Yeah, probably Burton.
I would say so.
I think that's gonna be a fine matchup for Jones personally. And I know obviously there's a height disparity there, but honestly, Burton he's more of a chest catcher than he is anything else. So I think honestly, if he's catching at his chest, that's a fair distance for where Marcus is going to be able to interfere with those passes. Yes, I know the Carlton Davis on Higgins is going to be a crazy hot take, but I think that's just going to leave him into a trap aspect. Go ahead. You think you're going to beat Davis. Oh, surprise, you've got Hawkins or Woodson. That's going to be right there to go ahead and interfere with that play. Let him try to make that as a attack point, and then just have our safeties crash in on that immediately. So hopefully we can get interceptions, or hopefully we can just really disrupt Higgins' momentum throughout the game.
Yeah, I really like that concept, Tyler, of putting Carlton Davis, who's no slouch, but obviously hasn't played up to par this year, but has been solid enough, but kind of put him on Higgins with the help of a safety. I know it's easy to look at Gonzo and be like, he should be on the number one. He should be on the number one, but
take out the number two completely, and then it's just like, are you going to keep trying to throw on Higgins all game? Well, you're just begging for us to intercept him. Like we'll just keep sending guys more on Higgins' way if we need to.
Right.
Like that's my approach.
No, for sure. Because like with Higgins, it's like he's still gonna get his. So why not put Gonzo on somebody else and fully erase that guy out of the game, and then just make it so okay, you want to throw to Higgins, he's always double covered. Good luck.
Right.
So, I like that.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Go ahead, Andy.
I'm sorry. I'm just still confused. Like, I don't trust Davis as far as I can throw him.
I get it.
So you're saying use him as a decoy and throw a safety in against Higgins?
Yeah. I think the approach is if we're eliminating sides of the field. So if we're having, if we have Gonzalez completely taking out their number two, if we have our linebackers working against the tight ends and with a little mix of Woodson or Hawkins taking out the tight ends, Marcus Jones probably going to be on Burton. Then we just designate a safety and Davis. Combine the two. So if Davis has his slip-ups, he has somebody right there behind him to make up for any kind of mismatch. That's kind of my idea, essentially. If they're going to do that, I don't know. But at the same time, that would be my approach.
A very bluff-like Vrabel-esque move, and actually, come to think of it, not bad at all.
Yeah, definitely. You said you're going to be taking off now, Andy?
I'll take one more question, Austin.
Take one more? All right. So we'll kind of move to the pass rush against Joe Flacco, and I'll ask you this, Andy. We've seen this front ruin games. The Browns, the Falcons, the Bucks. They've just proven that they can kind of disrupt the passer. Do you trust them to dominate against another struggling offensive line in this Cincinnati Bengals line?
Well, let me just start by saying this. Milton Williams will be a huge loss. We saw his impact against the Bucks and the Jets. However, we do still have Kyrie's Tonga, who's been an absolute brute. We still have Christian Barmore, who, yes, he's hit or miss, but he's had his moments. Joshua Farmer has been a stud in a couple of these games. So I think it is a chance for, either Farmer or Barmore to really step up and try to take Milton Williams' place here against, another struggling O-line and try to get to the quarterback. Because, yes, as good as Flacco has looked in some of these games, he's still, I believe, 41. He's no spring chicken. And I think it will be, I'm not saying it will happen, but I think it will be an opportunity for maybe like a Tonga Barmore double team or a Tonga Farmer double team to get to Flacco before he starts throwing to Kingdom Come and finding T. Higgins, and the game might get away.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Thank you, Andy.
No worries, Austin. Have a good night, fellas.
Hey, you too, Andy. See you, buddy.
Peace. It's been good. It's been fun.
So, to build upon what Andy was basically going on, Chase Brown's kind of been one of the few bright spots for Cincy. How much do you sell out against, Chase Brown with Jamar Chase being out and, us knowing it's Flacco, it's not Burrow?
True. Look, I know, as I mentioned earlier, the Williams and what we talked about with Williams being out, how much of that's going to change how we've been handling our defensive front. Is that going to affect our, ultimate goal that we've seen throughout the season of trying to limit running back yardage? Honestly, their offensive line hasn't been very generous with Brown's running. He's been relying more in catching. He's the number 2 receiver, even above Higgins when Chase has been on the field. So he's been getting a ton of dump offs. So he's not doing anything like Christian McCaffrey level, but he's definitely, kind of playing like the James White role. Just get it to where it needs to be. Get him in at least possible scoring position. But I think ultimately, I do think it's interesting that the first player that Vrabel brought up was Chase Brown, and kind of like a shade of Bill Belichick of let's say it's randomly talking about who was it, Dawson Knox or somebody years ago, one of his last few years, as opposed to talking about Josh Allen. He wanted to talk about Dawson Knox or some random something similar to that aspect. Maybe not the best example, but I feel like that could have been a shade of what he's trying to do, that like he's rather going to just throw out, like, go ahead and just keep giving it to Chase Brown if you want to. It's not going to work the entire game, but we'll let it work while we take care of the rest of your receivers. Because you just can't – it's not sustainable to run an offense off of one player an entire game. So, look, I could see him getting like a red zone touchdown. I could see something of that sort. I could see him getting probably close to 8 catches if we have a really sustainable lead. But I can't imagine the pieces that we just caught up in practice squad, the pieces we're moving around, and everybody that's going to be filling in Williams' absence, that we're going to just let them run all over us because one of our best contributors in the run game is gone.
For sure. And do you think if we were to stop the run, do you think this could easily turn into a multi-turnover game with Joe Flacco being back there?
It's possible. Flacco's I don't want to say he's a perfect or anything in that realm. He's certainly not, but he can decently take care of the football. But at the same time, throughout this season, I mean, do you know what his touchdown to interception rate has been since he's been with the Bengals?
Yeah, so he's played 5 games, went 1-4. He has 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So it's 4-1.
I could see maybe we get a pick off of him, maybe a couple off the hands of a receiver, but not so much on Flacco for his veteran experience. Like most of these guys that have played for such a long time, it's very hit or miss. But Flacco, for the most part of his entire career, has been decent about taking care of the football, and that's not really swayed even with age. So it's likely we could get one based off of who he's missing, but in terms of he's just chucking it Jameis Winston style, and hopefully somebody gets it, it's not likely to happen at all.
Yeah, I think quarterbacks from back then generally do have a demeanor of, okay, we're going to play smart football. We're not going to turn the ball over. Like if we lose today, I'm going to make sure it's not because of me. Like it's
100%.
Like we're going to try to play our most sound football. I've always respected Flacco in that aspect. I don't think he's the best quarterback to ever walk the earth, obviously.
No.
He's a solid player, and he's served to be a solid backup. And I mean, I don't think any one of us saw his career lasting as long as it did. I mean, we saw Brady be a starter for all those years up until 45, and it's impressive to see Flacco, even Rodgers, right? Even the fact Rodgers is starting for an NFL team at his age and putting up, serviceable numbers, it's impressive in and of itself. So
definitely. And Flacco being from Delaware University, or not, he's not from Delaware, but he played at the school of where I'm from at Delaware. He's I guess kind of a legend in that aspect. He only played like a season with Delaware, but he did really well. So made Delaware at least look good for the success he's had in his NFL career. So
no, that's a cool fact, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll head over to kind of the sick bay. I know we kind of talked about, maybe who's not playing or, who's going to be in the rotation or who's out or whatnot, but we'll just briefly talk over it. I know we don't have a ton of time left, but for the Patriots, only Jelani Tavai, to my understanding, is out, and it's for a personal reason, so that's good. For some reason, I thought it was going to be for injury, but obviously I don't think he's disclosed what that personal reason is. Do you think that's a big loss for our defense not having Tavai out there?
I'll be honest with you. Most of the time that Tavai's out there, I maybe notice him for 4 to 5 plays a game. He's not really. I think ultimately Christian Ellis being back, honestly, it's just going to help us better in that regard. No disrespect to Tavai, and I hope his situation's okay. Hopefully, it's nothing super serious, but just something he can resolve. But you're never really sure how to respond to a player having a personal matter to take care of. It could be anything, but hopefully everything's all good for him.
Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson is full participant Friday, as well as Harold Landry, Christian Barmore, Keyshawn Boutte, Chason Ellis, multiple all had likely to play status essentially, so they're all pointing towards they'll be at the game. Jeremiah Farms was elevated, as well as Braden Swinson. As far as the Bengals, we got Trey Hendrickson is out, Cam Sample, their other defensive end, is out, and Cameron Taylor-Britt, which I would assume would be their quarterback one, is going to be out as well. Doubtful Samaje Perine, so they could be without their backup running back, and safety Dejon Anthony listed doubtful. Obviously Joe Burrow being out's a big one. Do you think Hendrickson being out or Cameron Taylor-Britt, their CB1, hurts Cincinnati more?
Honestly, I think they've been without most of these guys for as long as they've been. It's been in and out of the lineup that I don't think it really even makes a difference at this point. I think they've just had to accept that they're not playing without him. I think Hendrickson's only played like. Hopefully I'm not totally far off from here. I think he's only played 4 or 5 games this season, maybe 6. He's been very limited. And I mean, even if he's played more, he's been very dead quiet this year. We've not heard of really much out of him outside of the contract issues. In terms of corner, Cameron Britt's done very well. But really, who makes the bigger difference? I just feel like they've just been away from the team for so long that I think they're just whatever. We're working with what we got is kind of the attitude of the team.
Yeah, it's almost like a next man up mentality in the Bengals room, but in the sense of like not so much, hey, this person's hurt, you're gonna step up and actually fill this role. It's more like we just need a body so we can try to do something out there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, not having Hendrickson, not having Taylor Britt, obviously on paper it's like, oh, that's a huge hit. But yeah, your point of they've probably gone a good majority of the season of them not playing, and even when they were playing, not making a bunch of noise. So grand scheme of things probably doesn't make much of an impact. With the Patriots, we do always talk about next man up mentality. It's been instilled since, the Bill Belichick era of things, and it's really been pushed even with the Vrabel thing. So which Patriot death piece are you like watching? Who do you expect to step up? Is it somebody that just got elevated from the practice squad? Is it like pretty much like a quiet name, or maybe somebody that's been injured coming back? Who's going to have that game tomorrow?
I would like to see Landry just come back and just match it, especially with the issues they've had on the line. I'd even like to see with him just coming back. Let's go ahead and just test the waters a little bit with Swinson too. Like, especially if we can get ahead, like go ahead and let's not risk anything further with them just coming back. Go ahead and throw some of the guys we just called back up into it. That's in the scenario we get ahead. If it ends up being a close game, just stick with what we got and let's just continue to work together to keep things competitive and staying in a game or containing a game. But ultimately, I'd love to see Swinson get involved after we took him with the 4th pick. But Farms had a pretty solid season for us last year when we needed him. And I think Christian Ellis, I know he's not been the most consistent, at least for this season since Gibbons had come through. Well, I still feel like he's more energetic on the field as opposed to Tavai, where it's more I don't know, it's more power as opposed to more speed and coverage aspects of what Christian Ellis brings into the game.
Yeah, I really appreciate Gibbons' play and Ellis's play, and I hope they'll be back. Like you said, I hope Swinson, really maybe comes into his zone. And it really touched me, him and Dupree's kind of what they were saying to the media about, we got tons of offers from other teams. Like I believe they said the Bills, so that would have been in division. Somebody like the Rams, like they got a couple offers from different teams, both Dupree and Swinson, and they both kind of decided, no, this is the team that took a chance on me. This is where I want to call home. This is where I want to build, and I want to prove to these guys that they made the right decision by choosing me in the draft. And to me, like, that's the type of players you want. Like, you don't want to be like the Bengals where everybody, even somebody you just drafted this year, doesn't want to play for you, that isn't clamoring to get on the field. So the fact that they were like, no, like, I want to be here, I want to play for this team, like, that's huge for me. I hope Swinson's the one that steps up, because I mean, that would be insane if that would truly be next man up mentality. If it's, Williams is out for the next 4 weeks and it's just, hi, I'm Swinson, nice to meet you, and he just boom goes out there and plays.
Yeah, and on top of that too, if Swinson is able to do so and make an impact there, I think that also just solidifies how good of a draft we ended up having. I mean, it's pretty awesome how much involvement we've had with the rookies we currently have. But if Swinson's able to come out there, show he's developed further from what a guy that we were pretty much excited for getting in the preseason, and then it was just kind of church mouse, pretty quiet. You don't really hear anything from him. And then he's cut, and you're like, all right, was this a waste of a 4th pick? If he can show he's developed, if he can show like he's taking this seriously and he's really busting his ass to be out on the field, dude, it'd be great if he ends up just, hey, he's dominating, he's doing things that we didn't even anticipate of him coming out of college. If something like that were to occur, that might even help solve us from even trying to draft an edge if that were to be a big success story like that. I'm not going to go to that level, but I'm going to at least say he's going to be serviceable on the end. Maybe get a what I was going to say, a Ponder level sack like he had against what was it, Wirfs against the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
A play like that to happen for him would be great. So.
Yeah, let's hope to see some sign of life out of him. That'd be great. I mean,
Definitely.
I don't know what role they have for Dupree this week either, but I
Maybe
wonder,
blocking.
Is it Hooper's out again? Is that why they had to elevate him?
I don't know actually.
Because I would have thought Hooper cleared concussion protocol, especially with the longer rest. But
because even when I was looking at the Patriots injury report, it said he was he's not even listed as questionable on here. At least it says no game status given was Austin Hooper, but it says FP, so he had a full practice. So I mean, we could just
there's no like Westover injury.
Westover. Not that I'm seeing here, and they have it like grouped in like a paragraph setting as opposed to an actual list, which I prefer. My little nitpick against Patriots website here, but no, I don't see Westover on here. Everybody else, it's all pretty much full participant or FP beside it. The only person that was listed as a did not practice was Eric Gregory when it came to no game status given. But everybody else, and Stephon Diggs had a LP for limited. But no, I mean, I don't really know who else he would have came in for in that regard.
It may just be a special teams type of move.
Could be something like that too, yeah.
Yeah.
The Bengals, do we want to go over did we already cover everybody that the Bengals was missing? Oh, no, we did. I remember because it was Samaje Perine. Yep, okay. So we covered that. I'm just looking if there's anything else of important note here. No, nothing that I'm seeing here, man. Let's real quick, let's take a look if do we have any other questions or anything, or at least maybe we can go to our predictions. But for the chat, if you guys want to drop any quick questions about the game, go ahead and do so now. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. And also, we want to wish Dow, our fearless leader, a wonderful happy birthday. We wanted to at least drop it at some point on this stream while we were holding it down. But guys, go ahead and drop any questions you guys have. You want to just do our game predictions, and let's do since just the two of us, give our scores. Who do we think on the Patriots side is going to have the most impactful game? Who do we think on the Bengals side is going to rather be a disappointment, or who's going to have the biggest impact on the Bengals side for us?
No, yeah, 100%. Let's move on to predictions. Real quick, I will say happy birthday, Dow, and let's really, really give it up for Dow. Without him, we wouldn't have a lot of this. Without all of us working together, we wouldn't have a lot of this, but he's the one that started it. Happy birthday, Dow. Thank you so much for giving all of us the opportunity and a platform to profess our love for the Patriots. So thank you.
Definitely.
Real quick too, make sure you like, subscribe, comment anything you want. Just keep it respectful and about football. Join the Discord, top right QR code. Link is also in the description. Any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for all the regulars continuing to show up, and let's hope we get some newbies in here too. But you guys are also a huge part of what makes this possible, so thank you. So, prediction time. Start with you, Tyler. What do you think?
I know. I feel like I'm just beating the crap out of a dead horse so much that I feel like I'm going to eat my words. I'm going to be kind of a little bit more respectful about it. I want Drake May to have a career statistic game for himself. I also just I want us to not take the foot off the gas like we did against Carolina. It's just a matter of if they want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to be at 35. They're going to be at let's give him 17. I'm going to give him an extra 3 points just out of what it could be. I think at least on their side, Chase Brown, like I mentioned earlier, I think he's going to get a red zone touchdown if they get into that position. I think this could be a decent opportunity for our red zone passing defense to step up, that they resort to the run, and something like that can occur for him. In terms of our scoring, I would love to see Drake May just we think, okay, they've got Ramondre back. We've seen this crazy run out of Hendrickson. Maybe they'll take it easy and just try to run it. No surprise. He's still going for the throat and passing it and doing these crazy passes just to get it done. I'd love to see that kind of energy, and I think that would excite a lot of our fans as well as the team. I'd love to see a Diggs touchdown. Let me get another Kyle Williams big bomb. Let's get a Hendrickson. Let's get a Henderson passing touchdown too. And go ahead and give Hunter Henry 1-2 because I feel like he needs some love. He's not been getting the love he needs. So let's get 4 touchdowns from Drake May. 300-yard game if he can just do it just to do it, and maybe a good Travion Henderson run and a defensive touchdown. I don't even know if these numbers even compute to the number that I'm giving, but these are the type of things I would love to see. Let's make it a 50-point. No, let's just keep it at where I'm at. I'd say probably 38 to 17. Let's give them that.
Yeah, I love that prediction. For me, I'm going to go with the Patriots taking the W. Again, this is a decimated Bengals team. They are without a lot of their stars, but they have played a lot of the season without them anyways. Obviously, Chase is probably the biggest hit. We all kind of assumed Flacco was going to play. I know the Burrow tease was there, but Flacco's obviously the starter, so that does play into account. I have the Patriots at 42 and the Bengals 13. So I see this as a pretty handed win, blowout type of thing. I think it's going to be a real balanced attack for the first time in many weeks, I feel, because I think the past few weeks, heck, you could say the whole season, it's been more of a passing attack offense.
Yeah.
We've been very lacking in the run game. So I'm hoping in this game, especially with Ramondre back, Ramondre can really get going, be that physical back that we need, and create a balanced attack, because to get the play action, you need to set up the run. And then by setting
Correct.
up the run, you get the play action. Through the play action, it just opens everything else up on the entire field. And that's where you're going to see a lot of the deep bombs to Booty. And, maybe you'll get a crosser to Pop Douglas over the middle. But I'm actually thinking this will be not only Drake May's first 300-yard game, I think it's also going to be a 2-touchdown game for Ramondre coming back. And I think Gonzo gets his first pick of the season.
That'd be great.
But those are kind of my predictions. If anybody else has some predictions down in the chat, please feel free to comment.
The birthday boy has one. Our birthday boy Dow had 35-10, so he had a little bit less points than the both of us. And for the Bengals and for our scoring, but he at least kept it. I mean, I think either or out of ours could be correct. I just out of what we've seen out of their defense, I can't not see us have a high score offense unless our defense just completely collapses. I can't see them scoring that many points either, unless Flacco just magic hats it somehow and makes it happen. I can't really see that feasible either. Let me see. Gerard, I think we both want it to be a 300-yard game. The only thing is with 300-yard games, it's not as common. It's more common in competitive games. And so, I think we would want to see it just out of the aspect of him just making it a milestone he checks off just to do it. But is Drake May at this point in his second season controlled enough that he's still going to be taking care of the football, trying to check off benchmarks and things of that sort for himself? So that's why I'm a little hesitant on it, but I think just with all the Cam Newton shit, let's just go ahead and let this fire him up and let him just let it loose. So
Yeah, I think that 300-yard game thing is something being pushed by the media too, as like a narrative where it's like, oh yeah, Drake May's playing great, and yeah, he may be at an MVP caliber level, but he hasn't had a 300-yard passing game.
Yeah.
But he hasn't thrown for over X amount of touchdowns in a game. Look at Matthew Stafford. Look at Matthew Stafford. Look at Matthew Stafford. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I just look at it like, if your QB is the reason you win, and he's not having to put up over 300 passing yards a game, doesn't that say something more about your team than it does, the individual? Like, to me, it's like Drake May is awesome, but Vrabel puts us in a position where we don't have to shoulder everything on this young quarterback.
Right. And on top of that too, like, look, I mean, as happy and pleased as we are with the offense that, like, how they've performed, we know it's not the best offense on paper. Like, we can look at every, like, maybe not every offense, but we can look at least like 20 other teams' offenses and say, shit, I'd probably at least want to take on 40 of those guys, or, not 40, but like take on at least like, something in that range of like, these are guys that we could look at as upgrades of players that we have on our team in general. But we're just playing so well as a collective unit that it's great. And Drake to not have this super sexy receiving core, but a core that's working together just shows how much of an improved athlete he is and improved quarterback he's been.
Definitely.
See Gerard.
Yep, Gerard. So he said he originally said 31-23, and then he saw, oh wait, Flacco's playing. So he changed his Bengals score to 17, which is fair.
Right.
I mean, like I said, Flacco's a serviceable backup, but he's far past his starting days in a sense, and I don't know how much longer he's going to play in this league. But yeah, I think 17 is respectable. I think anywhere in the teens is respectable for the Bengals. I mean, I don't expect the Bengals to just flat out lay down and die and let the Patriots give it to them. So
He also did ask, will they have an opening drive touchdown? I'm going to say we're going to break that streak this week. I'm going to say this is the week where we don't allow an opening drive touchdown, and they're just going to try to figure this out. I'm looking real quick for comments before we head out of here. If there's anything of note that we may have missed that might be interesting to briefly talk about. Some Kyle Williams to shine from our good pal, Delusional Pats fan. Eric says, as long as we don't have a film crew videotaping their sidelines, we might be okay. Shout out Bill Belichick. Isn't our old defensive coordinator from last year a coach from the Bengals? I believe so. I thought he went to be their defensive line coach at Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. Is it relevant to this game? Unfortunately, I don't think it is. Covington's, I mean, their defense is just not doing well. So, I mean, it's not totally relevant in this regard. And it's not even the defense he even coached last year anyway. It is like in terms of the team, but the players are it's not the same defense in that aspect. How do we like our chances to the first seed of the Broncos? Okay, we covered that one. Drake would dive on the ball. Cam didn't. Shout out Cam Newton. Yeah, I mean, I think.
Did you see him recently? I think it was yesterday or the day before. Cam Newton, he changed his whole thing because obviously it's always been, oh, why didn't you jump on the fumble? Why didn't you jump on the fumble? Just recently he was like, knowing my career now and where I was, I would have torn every ligament in my body to jump on that football. I was like, geez.
Yeah, it's still just an awful look, man. And that thing is that's the biggest stain on his career, especially for the season that he had that year, getting to that Super Bowl. Like it was just, it was super hard to come back from for him. And I mean, clearly he kind of didn't. He lost his job eventually a couple years later, came to us, and then coming to us, he just looked like a shell of himself. And he still says that you couldn't tell him that he wasn't better than 32 other quarterbacks, but no other team wanted to take him. So I mean, if he still feels that way, if he has such a beef, or if there is even a real beef with him and Drake May, whatever his gripe is, I'm sure the Jets would gladly take him right now, and he can find out for himself if he, can really show him what to do. But
all I have to say is Cam Newton was cut for Mac Jones.
that's true. That's true. All right. I mean, I don't. We have one more thing from DFP. This feels like a Kyle Williams breakout. I agree, buddy. That'd be really dope. I'd love him to get another big bomb of a touchdown. If they ask Drake about Newton Smith's response, he can just say, "Never meet your heroes." I also thought about this. Do you remember those E60 commercials or whatever it was, where it's the little boy and he's warming up his shoulder? Because they were trying to say that was Mac Jones years ago when that first happened. The timeline is fitting more and more. That little boy may have been Drake May. I mean, could have been like, this is some long-term storytelling, and I really appreciate it. But,
I'm here for it.
Austin, is there anything else we want to talk about before we get out of here, bud?
No, I don't think so. I think we'll send it to our closing statement. So we're going to be docking in Foxborough Harbor.
No.
All right, Patriots Nation. That'll do it for this leg of the MayeFlower Voyage. We've charted the course. A 9-2 Patriots team sailing into Cincinnati against a 3-7 Bengals squad missing Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but still dangerous with Joe Flacco and plenty of pride. The keys feel simple. Run the ball with authority, let Drake May stay efficient and aggressive, and let this top 5 scoring defense do what it's done all year, choke out any hope of the opposing team. If New England handles its business, we're talking Sunday about 10-2 and staying in the hunt for the number 1 seed. If not, well, we'll have a very different show breaking down how a trap game turned into rough seas. Either way, we'll be back after the final whistle with our post-game MayeFlower Voyage right here on Patriots Clubhouse. Thank you, Tyler, for joining. Thank you, Andy, even though you checked out. And I'm Austin. Thanks for climbing aboard. And as always, go Pats.
Go Pats.